The gospel today, clearly, all about forgiveness and mercy. So today, I'm going to keep the theory very light. I just want to tell a couple of stories illustrating the importance of all of this. And that seems reasonable because you all know the theory. Forgiveness is important. You can't be a Christian without it. So really, the only part of the theory we need to cover today is something you all know in your heart of hearts. You just need to hear it out loud every once in a while. Forgiveness is hard. It's hard. Mercy takes work. It does not come particularly naturally to us. Most of us learn that very early in life in the form of siblings. Because we all know that God made little brothers for punching. That is what they are good for. Some siblings learn to forgive one another in spite of their earlier fighting. Others do not. And the difference becomes very clear when everyone's grown up and living their adult lives. My mom has 3 siblings, my dad has 4. So they both come from fairly decent-sized families. One family gets together basically every chance they get. The other side of the family never gets together because the siblings can't stand one another anymore. They all grew up without mercy being a particularly important value. So, over decades, that lack of mercy built up to the point where there's nothing left but grudges and drama. What a waste. If you think about it, showing mercy is like taking out the trash. No one wants to do it. We all want somebody else to do it. But if everybody in the house ignores the trash can, it just gets more and more full, it starts to overflow, and it starts to get stinky. Eventually, your whole house will reek of trash. That's life without mercy. You're living in spiritual filth. Bear in mind, we all produce spiritual garbage. Not all of us are willing to dispose of it properly. And when you live in filth, over time, you no longer smell it. But your guests sure do. And over time, they just stop coming over. So mercy is, it's not easy, but it sure is critical. And one thing that we cannot be selective. We cannot beg God to show mercy for our friends and family and then immediately beg God to not show mercy for our enemies. Okay, there was not a scrap of that in the gospel today. That wasn't the deal. The deal is to live out mercy and forgiveness as best as you can every day of your life, 70 times, 7 times. That is the deal. Mercy would be a minor value indeed if God only expected us to show mercy to our friends, family, and political allies. But our enemies, those who are not us, let them burn. I'm sorry, that is not real Christian faith. It's not. That's really just the adult version of punching your brother because he's annoying. It's our natural human desire for revenge and dominance. I'm telling you, if you want to show the world that Christians really are different than everybody else, like, this is where it starts. right here. I know it's hard, but you need to show mercy to those who have hurt you. Even if they have no remorse whatsoever, even if they're the kind of people who literally never say, "I'm sorry." That is a problem between them and God. Make no mistake, that's a very serious problem. Let Him deal with it. You can't use people's bad behavior as an excuse to withhold mercy in your own life. Really, the only thing you accomplish that way is you make yourself more like them, people who are difficult to love and forgive. And nobody wants to be in that category. We want to be people easy to love, and therefore easy to forgive. And believe me, I get it. I understand how agonizingly difficult it is to forgive people sometimes. As a priest, I have to deal with people who make my blood boil. Okay? People who are absolutely in a state of mortal sin and just refuse to face facts. But a brother priest gave some really excellent advice in that way, because all priests know that frustration. Frankly, it comes with the job. He said, "Justin, this man that hurt you so terribly, put him at the bottom of the chalice." Obviously, he didn't mean that literally. Get in there, where's the money, Lebowski? Not like that. Got a few people that looked at me weird, when I said that the first time. But no, what he meant was, when you receive the blood of Christ poured out for forgiveness of sins, receive that precious blood of Christ for yourself and for Him, that the mercy of God may flow through the both of you. That has proven very powerful advice, and so today I share it with you. And that pretty much brings me to my final point for today. All of this adds up to why we're supposed to come to church as often as we can. When we do so, we gather in community, we hear sacred scripture, we receive Christ Himself. All of that is spiritual exercise, okay? It is building up our ability to live Christ as best as we can. We all know that exercising every once in a while is better than absolutely nothing at all, but moderate exercise is supposed to be part of our regular daily life and should be worthy of our time and energy. Exercising your soul, pretty much the same principle. So don't let yourself become spiritually out of shape or even spiritually crippled. Exercise your mercy muscles. Forgive 7 times today so that you can forgive 77 times tomorrow.